Hello, I'm Charles Baker, and I've been asked to give you a brief biography, so here goes. I'm 52 years old and I live in Naperville, Illinois. For the last 19 years, I've served on the DuPage County Board, 5th District. I am the chairman of the Development Committee, and I also sit on the Finance Committee. I have a law practice for the last 20 years, specializing in taxation law, and currently I am running for the position of mayor of Naperville, Illinois. I live here with my beautiful wife Emily and our two wonderful kids, Carl and Jennifer. Actually, both of them are in college right now, but they both happen to be home for a little break. Carl is in graduate school at Brown University studying political science, so a little bit of a chip off the old block there. And Jen has just returned from a year abroad studying in France, of all places. She wants to teach French as a language. Let's see, I was born in 1959, southwest side of Chicago, Marquette Park neighborhood. So I went to Lindblom High School. And then I attended Roosevelt University in Chicago, studying not only accounting, but political science. And at Roosevelt, I really began my political career. In 1979, I volunteered to work for the campaign to elect Ronald Reagan president. Something very special about that man. Anyway, after Roosevelt, I went on to study at University of Illinois, Champaign. And while I was there, I met this undergraduate, Emily. We got very serious very quickly. So as soon as I graduated and passed that bar exam, we got married. And she had folks that lived in the western suburbs. And looking around, we just fell in love with Naperville. It's a great community. It's clean, it's safe, it has excellent schools. I think you can say it's really the ideal American city. I think that's all I have to tell you. What does it mean to be an American? First of all, I think it means that you recognize that you have been blessed with the opportunity to live in the greatest country known in the history of mankind. We are a nation of incredible liberty. We all have unprecedented personal freedom, the freedom to be who you are and to live up to your own potential. And with that individual liberty that we have, comes the understanding that we are responsible for ourselves. We don't expect anyone to give us a handout or to guide us along the way, cradle to grave, or any of that nonsense. Anything's possible in America if you're willing to work hard for it and realize your own potential. You know, my dad worked 45 years for a can company and belonged to a labor union. And that labor union, they took their dues out of his paycheck. And I really don't know what they did for him other than make him feel like he was some kind of cog in a wheel. I was an only child, and there we were, southwest side of Chicago, living in a bungalow, and still hard to make ends meet. And it became clear to me that that union wasn't looking out for Dad or for anybody else. The union was just looking out for the union. You need to understand that you are responsible for yourself. And by doing the best you can for yourself, that's going to benefit everyone else. I think my dad made the mistake of believing that he was a labor American. And, you know, I am so tired of these hyphenated Americans. You know, there's really no such thing as an African American or a Polish American or an Italian, or whatever. You're an American. That's the only group you need to be part of, because we are one nation under God. Oh yeah, I guess every family has their drama. Well, my daughter Jen, she was studying abroad in France, and she came home and told us that she wanted to teach high school French. And I think that's just fine, you know, that's that's a fine career for a young lady. It always has been. I just hope she meets a good guy and gets married and starts a family and lives a good American life. But my wife, Emily, seems to have some problems with it. She lets Jen know that she's disappointed in her and that Jen isn't living up to her full potential. And I really don't get it. You know, it's not like I need a little Hillary Clinton running around. I just want Jen to be happy, but Emily's unhappy with it, and that creates a little tension in the house that quite frankly, I could do without. Now, my son Carl, that's a different story. You know, he's in graduate school at Brown, so these ivory tower liberals are filling his head with a lot of ideas that are different than my own, and he got himself an internship for the summer with the American Civil Liberties Union. And even though he's staying with us, we don't get to see very much of him because he is hanging out with this guy, this little friend, his special friend who has an apartment in Boys Town. And, you know, I don't know if this is some kind of youthful rebellion or just a good old-fashioned stick it to your old man, but I really hope he works his way through this and comes out the other side and starts to fly right, because it's not a healthy lifestyle and it sure isn't the right way to live. And my wife, Emily, when Jen went to college, she put herself back in the job market. Now, she doesn't need to work. I provide for my family. I always have. I make a good living. But Emily said she needed more for herself, whatever that means. So, you know, if she wanted a hobby, she could go take a painting class at the community college. That'd be fine. But instead, she's got a job at a public relations firm. And she gets up early in the morning, is out the door, and she works. She works late sometimes. I come home and dinner may or may not be on the table. And, you know, I am taking my political career to the next step. And I really need her right now. I could really use her by my side, and I could really use her full attention and care and affection, but instead she's doing this thing for herself for whatever reason, and it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So, yeah, anyway, every family has its dramas. So there's been this proposal made. Some people want to put up a 100,000 square foot Islamic center, mosque or whatever they call it. And the piece of real estate they're looking at happens to be located right next to a newly developed residential subdivision. A lot of young families living there who have small children, preschool children. So of course we need to take a look at concerns about traffic and noise and just congestion right next to this residential area. Something that I wonder about is, you know, this piece of real estate they're looking at was zoned for mixed use, residential or commercial. Their mosque or whatever it is going to be tax exempt. They're not going to pay any taxes. They're not going to pay into our property taxes. So I just wonder if this is the best use as far as the community is concerned for this piece of real estate. And, you know, land out here isn't cheap. And a lot of people are asking the question, who's putting up the money for this? You know, this Islamic center, they have their leader, Imam Mustafa, and he's pretty slick. You know, he looks good, he speaks well, he plays real good for the camera, but no one really knows who he is. And no one really knows where he got his money. Did he make all this money himself, or is he raising funds locally, or maybe is he taking contributions from overseas? And is some of this foreign money maybe coming from, well, countries that we're not allowed to do business with as Americans? This has a lot of people concerned. It has a lot of people wondering what really the motives are behind this Islamic center. You know, the Mustafa wants the center or his mosque to have a minaret. This is a big, tall tower that can be seen from miles around, and it feels to a lot of people that this is like taking some foreign flag and just sticking it right in the middle of our community. I mean, I don't even know if this is really a religion. It seems more to me like it's some kind of cult, some kind of ideology. I'll be honest with you. If this was a Christian church, I probably wouldn't have the same concerns. But, you know, if there were classrooms in a Christian church, I wouldn't be concerned about anyone being taught, oh, it's okay to fly a plane into a building, or strap dynamite on your body, or cut people's hands off, or enslave women, or oppress minorities. Hey, could you build a church in Saudi Arabia? Guess what? You can't. It's against the law there. So if this Mustafa character thinks he's going to come into our community and change our community and threaten our values, I tell you what, we're going to stop him.